Hi everybody, it's Dr. Dave Wojnarowski from Dr. Dave's Best, here to tell you about the differences between food-grade fish oil and pharmaceutical-grade fish oil. And the subtitle of this one is The Dirty Little Secrets They Don't Want You to Know. Sorry I stole that one from Kevin Trudeau. Anyway, here's the bottom line when it comes to fish oils. There are several different kinds and we're going to explore those today, but let's start with the simplest, and that's food grade. Now the word food is pretty obvious. It's something you put in your mouth and eat. However, food-grade fish oil actually carries a couple of meanings with it. Number one, it is not highly purified. Number two, it is not highly concentrated. And number three, it's not only used for food for us as human beings, it's used for feed in animals and other fish. So you need to understand when they say food grade, they mean food for everything. So once again, the purity and quality standards are relatively low on that. Pharmaceutical grade fish oil, as you'll see, is very, very different. Now I'm going to give you a little disclaimer here. For the past decade I've been making, manufacturing, and marketing my own grade of pharmaceutical fish oil. Okay? So yes, I am biased towards pharmaceutical grade fish oil, and I'm biased towards my own because I've been using it for so long. I've had incredible results in patients with it. And it is the one that I test most frequently, although I do test other people's products, and you'll see some of that. But I'm speaking primarily about my own pharmaceutical grade fish oil here. And you'll see there are some differences. Not everybody who uses the term pharmaceutical grade lives up to these standards. As a matter of fact, my suspicion is most of them don't, because when I test some of these other products, I see some significant differences, specifically in the pollutants. But let's go back to food grade fish oil. How do you get food grade fish oil? You get food grade fish oil by catching fish, removing the oil by a simple process, and then encapsulating it. That's all you do. Now, if it sounds simple, other than the risk incurred by the fishermen, it is simple. And of course there's some aquaculture going on. The problem with all this food grade stuff is that there is no clean ocean, stream, or even aquaculture bed on the planet. Everything that's in that fish comes from the ocean, and everything that is in that fish gets into you when you take food grade fish oil. Now interestingly enough, lately especially, there's been a whole burgeoning industry around natural, line-caught, untouched by human hands fish oil. And well, that's great, and I think their intentions are good, and they're certainly playing to the green agenda. The green agenda is fine with me. I mean, it's supposed to save the planet, in my opinion, and the planet really doesn't care that much about us. It's extincted 99% of the species. But it's going to save us, and so I think the green agenda is extremely valuable for us. However, when you get food-grade fish oil that's untouched by human hands, you're missing the point. The oceans have been touched by human hands for centuries now. And so the oceans have pollutants in them, toxins, metals, arsenic, lead, cadmium, polyvinyl chlorides, polybiphenyls, furans, DDTs, and other types of organic and inorganic pollutants. That's what you get when you get food-grade fish oil. And so these companies that are selling this all natural, untouched by human hands, unprocessed, good-for-you fish oil are leaving out the dirty little secret that it's got everything that the ocean has in it. There's a couple other little dirty secrets they're leaving out for you. Naturally occurring fish oil comes in a triglyceride form. Okay, now triglyceride is a molecule that is very common in the human body. A triglyceride has 3 glycerol molecules, 1, 2, 3, and then it's got some fatty acid chains hanging off of it. In natural fish oil, only one of those fatty acid chains is either EPA or DHA. EPA is eicosapentaenoic acid, DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. Those are the two constituents of the active ingredients in fish oil. So when you get food-grade fish oil, you get 1 molecule of either EPA or DHA and 2 molecules of some other fat. So food-grade fish oil is relatively low concentration, usually between 28 and 30% actual EPA, DHA. The rest of it is fish fat, and of course pollutants and toxins that attach themselves to that triglyceride molecule specifically. Okay, so you're getting toxins and pollutants, you're getting 1 EPA, DHA, and you're getting a lot of other fish fat. While most fish oils, or all fish oils really, are relatively low in calories, the calories that you're getting from food-grade fish oil are not mostly the kind of essential fatty acids, the omega-3s, DHA, and EPA that you want. They're mostly from other fats. Okay, so that's basic food-grade line-caught fish oil. Another selling hook on this is, well, it's got the natural astaxanthin in it. And that's good because salmon has astaxanthin, which is a naturally occurring pigment and antioxidant, and that's very good. And salmon has much more of that in it than something like krill, by the way. About 100 to 1,000 times more are found in salmon than in krill. So it actually does mean something, but it's not EPA and DHA. It's not fish oil, and it's not a substitute for fish oil. So just because you add some astaxanthin to your product, in the case of one of these naturally occurring fish oils, it's actually in there to begin with, you do not add any fatty acid benefits. You do not add any extra EPA, DHA, and you don't get the benefits of EPA and DHA. If you looked at astaxanthin deficiency versus omega-3 fatty acid deficiency in the population, I guarantee you there are millions of people who are omega-3 fatty acid deficient, and probably very few people who are astaxanthin deficiency, if that even occurs, if that even is a real entity. So that's food grade. Next step is another kind of food grade fish oil, which is refined. Now, oil refining of fish oil is a chemical process. That means you use an alkaline base to bleach the fish oil. It makes it a little bit cleaner, it makes it a little bit less fishy smelling and tasting, and it makes it a little bit lighter in color. And that's oil refining. But you still can't concentrate it, and you still don't go anywhere near the removal of pollutants and toxins that you would in the next level, which I call pharmaceutical grade fish oil. So let's define pharmaceutical grade. Pharmaceutical grade is of purity and concentration sufficient for use in medication, or as medication. Now herein lies the rub. The FDA doesn't sanction any supplements to be used as any kind of medication, so whenever you attach the word medication to supplement, you're red flagging yourself to the FDA. So I'm not doing that. But what I am saying to you is, if the FDA or some other alphabet agency came to me and said, as of tonight at midnight, all fish oil is prescription, and by the way, there are a couple prescription fish oils now that the big pharma has jumped on board, realizing the importance of omega-3 fatty acids in treating things. But the bottom line is, I know my fish oil would pass muster because we adhere to the USP standards. Pharmaceutical grade fish oil as a term really doesn't carry any overlying governing body with it. So I decided to use the US Pharmacopoeia as the standard, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But let's talk a little bit more about how you get pharmaceutical grade fish oil. You get pharmaceutical grade fish oil by a process called molecular distillation. There's two kinds of molecular distillation. There's regular molecular distillation, which is great, and then there's supercritical liquid chromatography, which is the one we use. We use that, and from now on I'm simply going to refer to everything as molecular distillation, but we use a separate process, just so you know. And that process is environmentally clean, it's low temperature, so you don't get any of the oxidation of fish oil that you might get in the other processes. And it is the way to make the purest and cleanest fish oil you possibly can. And that's what I call pharmaceutical grade. Now I'm going to show you some data that was done by an independent laboratory. They did not know who was paying the bill. I had a third party paying the bill on this one. I paid it obviously, but through a third party. So this was as close to blinded as I could get. So let's cut to that. Okay, so you should have in front of you now something that is headlined as all ingredients in descending order. And then you'll see some smaller text and some specifications, lab standards, fish oil result, and krill result. Let's just ignore the fact that that's krill over there. I just happened to test krill recently. And just ignore the fact that krill is loaded with toxins and pollutants for the moment. Okay, so from here on we're going to stay in the yellow column. Again, just ignore all the toxins and pollutants that are in that famous marketer's krill sample over there, and stick with the fish oil. What you'll see is a bunch of less thans. Less than means that it cannot be detected by the means that are available by today's technology. If you go down that, you'll see there's no furans, no dioxins, no mercury, no lead, no arsenic, and the final value of peroxide is the oxidation value is extremely low, almost unmeasurable at 4.4. So what I'm telling you is that I had a third party verify the purity of my fish oil and the contents of my fish oil, and I've held it up to the USP standards. And so one other thing I want to show you is on another piece of paper, and we're going to cut to that. And what you now have in front of you is a Covance Lab Certificate of Analysis that was recently done. This was a study done on that food grade fish oil I was telling you. And the thing I want to point out to you is if you go down towards the results column, you'll see some things: empty weight, empty fill weight, and then you'll see elements by ICP mass spec. And you'll see arsenic 3,300 parts per billion. That's a significant amount of arsenic in this food grade fish oil. Now I'll give it to them, they don't have cadmium, lead, and mercury, and that's great, but you're still getting arsenicals in this product. So this was my point to you about food grade. I don't know what you want to put in your body, but I do know what I create and what I make, what I take and what I sell. And that's what I want to put in my body. So I hope you've enjoyed this little diatribe on the differences between food grade and pharmaceutical grade, and I'll get back to you with some more information shortly.